Good morning, everybody. It is a beautiful Saturday, the 10th of September, 2022. And if you notice something different about my attire, there is this morning. Stay tuned. Got a lot more coming up. So, where am I have to this morning? Well, we're going to head uptown, grab a little bit of grub and some fuel, and we're heading back out to the farm, and we're going to get something done. And in case you're still wondering what's going on, if you notice, I have on a jacket this morning. Yes, I do. We had an overnight low temperature last night of 47 degrees. Yeah, and our daytime highs have dropped 20 degrees or so from the 100 mark that we've been hitting and nailing about every day for the last month and a half, 2 months, down into the 80s today and tomorrow, and then we're going to be dropping into the 70s with a chance of rain coming up later this week. So hopefully I can find out who's got some decent pasture hay mix at a reasonable price. And maybe we can get some pasture grass planted on Monday. Yeah, right ahead of the rain. So maybe it'll come up this year. Anyway, stay tuned. I'll be right back. The last time I went to a zoo, I saw 2 giraffes fighting. Yeah, I did. Boy, I tell you, it was a real neck-to-neck battle on who was going to win. A great philosopher once said, doing the same thing over and over again and again, expecting a different result each time, is a sure sign of stupidity. Well, this looks to be identical to my old one. Yeah, and if it is, the clutch mechanism down under the deck here for the drive belt is a piece of junk. It quit working on my other one. But we're going to get this out of the box now that I've had to make a stop for the day to go get this. And we'll get it out of the box and get it working. Because that other one, it's DOA. Well, it does look to be very much like the exact same machine I already have. It really truly does. Well, let's flip it up this way and have a look-see underneath. Oh, this one's got a little metal pulley in there. You guys can't see what I'm looking at down inside here, but it has a different engagement looking deal. So yeah, this one might be a little bit better, and this is definitely a more sturdy way to attach these cutting lines. That other thing was just a little bit of a piece of wire that was welded onto that wheel, and that wire would keep bending out as the torque would, in the spinning of these, would pull them out. So yeah, this might be a little bit better design. So give me a couple minutes, we'll get it put together, and I'll show you how it works. And I'll learn how it works. Yeah, something like that. The only tricky part of this whole assembly process on this machine is this little shield here. It wasn't attached all the way so that it could be compressed in to make the box smaller. So all you have to do is loosen one bolt back here and nut, and then the 2 little bolts that are supplied go through and hook onto this thing. It's got nuts welded onto the back side of it. So yeah, that's about the only tricky thing to figure out, is you don't actually have to take that nut clean off that off this bolt back here, because you don't have to. it is critical that you get that shield put on good and tight. You got to insert the screw here, tighten it up, retighten this bolt and nut assembly back here, and there's another screw right down there that you got to put in. And the reason for that is this sharp edge thing right here is the deal that cuts the string over here on that wheel if the string's hanging out too long. Now, one thing I do like about this is it came with its own bottle of oil and a cute little funnel to put the oil in with. Yeah. And right here is the oil fill. Oh, and look at that. It's got a cute little dipstick in there with that. That's pretty slick. Now, the oil deal, like I said, it does come with a funnel, but somebody was thinking and obviously knew that this mechanism to control the on and off stopping of this thing was in the way. So somebody was smart enough somewhere to give him this little funnel here with a little tube on it so that you could get the oil down inside of there without dribbling it all over the place. And this just takes regular old 10W30. Always fascinates me to see people spend $10, $12 a quart for something that says lawnmower oil on it, when it's the same dadgum oil that they put in car engines for the most part. Okay, we get this oil dumped in here and we'll fire it up. There's Patch, Pumpkin, and I think we're going to call him Tiger Stripe, or Stripes, or yeah, I don't know quite what we're going to call that black and white, or the black and gray kitty. The one thing I am going to do with this machine, and I've only discovered it because of working on the other one this morning, trying to get it to run so I could trim the weeds down around the creek, is the cylinder had gone dry. So what I'm going to do before I start this is tip it up on its nose for a few seconds, let the oil run out of the crankcase up in around the piston. That might make it smoke for a little bit when I first start it, but I'd rather have some lube on those piston rings and whatnot before we actually start it. Yeah, so we'll let that sit there for a second. That'd be about good enough. We'll tip it back down. I'll go get some gas and we'll see if it'll start. I was trying to come up with a pun about fish or fishing, but I didn't come up with one. But if you do, let me know. I hadn't intended on doing a review today on anything, but as you can see, there are a lot of similarities here between the new machine and of course the old machine. In fact, they probably have the same motor. I'm pretty sure they have the same carburetor because they both have the primer button hanging out the front there. There it is on the old machine. Mufflers are on the same side, spark plugs in the same spot, etc., so forth, so on. The only thing I can see that I like better about the old machine right now is that the fuel fill cap was kind of off to one side. It was a little easier to get to than this one being right in the middle. But the two things that I absolutely love are this. Okay, well, maybe make it three. This handle comes back further, so you get a little more balance and control, so it's going to be a little more comfortable to use. This stops and starts the engine, where this on the old machine actually started and stopped a clutch mechanism on the cutter head. Yeah. This cutter head spins when you pull it. So yeah, it's always engaged. It's got a spring-loaded tension deal on it, so it isn't going to stop spinning when it's cutting like this thing used to do. This one, instead of having that bail handle up here to flip back and forth to shut it off, was an on-off switch. I've already had to replace that on this particular machine. And if we get down here, these are the little wires that I mentioned that kept stretching and bending. Yeah, as this thing would run, these things would loosen up the grip on the string, and the whole wad of string would come flying out of that thing. Don't really care for that idea, but I think this new one with the tab, let me get over here, with that tab and whatnot, it's gonna be a lot stouter piece of equipment there, or at least more repairable. Now let's fire this thing up and see what it does here. We'll push the prime button a couple of times, come back around over here, squeeze down on the bail handle, that's the stop for the engine, and give it a pull. Oh wow, look at that, fired right up. First try right out of the bat, no smoke, and it's actually rather quiet. I do like the feature of the constant drive on the power head, because when I'd go like this across even a lawn and there was anything to cut, that belt tensioner on that clutch mechanism would always be so dang loose, beyond adjustment, and the power head where you cut would just stop. It wouldn't keep running. And then the belt would squeal, and yeah, it was just a real nightmare on this old machine. So this thing, I'm gonna enjoy this. Yeah, see you later. Yeah, I like doing the creek a lot better with the gas-powered machine, because there's no chance of arky-sparky. I can drop the wheels right down in the water if I need to. Yeah, so yeah, I'm liking this. Seems like all I've done here lately is spend money on the farm, but sometimes you gotta spend money to make money, as another philosopher once said. Yeah, so I'm not gonna bore you to death with me mowing this ditch bank here alongside the creek, but it is going to get done, and maybe I'll get around to moving those tractors out of the barn and all that kind of thing yet tonight, which I'll film that and put it in the next video for you to see. About lost it there. Anyway, I'm Farmer Dave, wishing you all well and a good evening. And as always, subscribe right down there, that big red box that has the white word that says subscribe in it. I'd really appreciate it if you'd all do that, and leave a comment, thumbs up, thumbs down if you'd like. Let me know what you think about these videos. But yeah, we got to start getting going on this place here, make something happen. I already had a couple people comment on the idea of doing the farmer's market here. Well, that ain't set in stone just yet. I got to go see what the insurance folks have to say about it. They may hem and haw and want a bunch of stuff done, but that's kind of what we're shooting for. Anyway, push come to shove, what we'll end up doing next year will be hay for sure. Anyway, I'll catch y'all later. And I gotta go get a rake and rake all that mess up out of there. Always something.